Welcome to my channel, Malu Stories. And today I'd like to talk about some of the adventures my six summers and I had on the junior campus. It was always the principal's dream that there should be a six summer present on the junior campus, and finally he made it happen. We're all very nervous to go because I mean we know of it, but it's still unknown. It's not the familiar place that we're in. You like to relax in your own area. Nobody likes change, and so we had to adjust. But when we went over there, we had a lot more space than we had before. There was no trying to juggle who will stay wherever. We had classrooms, we had a lot of space, and we found that refreshing. Anyway, very soon the boys became much too relaxed, I thought, because I started to fear going into the school because I did not know what I would find at any given moment. One morning, the vice principal called me and said, "Could you please talk to your boys?" So I went up there and said, "What did you do now?" And during my investigations, I found that the boys had found a whole kerosene tin. There's this big tin that they used to keep kerosene oil in, and whenever anybody want to do some outdoor cooking, they tend to do it in that. So they decided to do what we call runabout. So the guys got flour and made these big dumplings. I don't know where they got the pot from, and they cooked chicken, and they had a wonderful time over there. And the vice principal was not amused because this is not part of schoolboys' activities, and so he was very upset. So I had to reprimand them, and they sheepishly and with the halo coming down over their head as if they didn't do anything, said, "Okay, miss, we won't do it again." So they said. Another morning now, I reached the school and I smelled plantain frying. And I said, "Where could this cooking be coming from?" Because I don't know of anywhere near. Because as far as I know, beyond the school wall was a factory. And I said, "But they could have a kitchen there frying plantain." So anyway, I went to investigate because the smell was just there. When I went, I found out right beside where the staff room was as what was supposed to have been a teacher's lounge, but the teachers did not use it because it was so far from the other buildings. So there were couches, chairs, and a kitchen with a stove, a gas stove. Don't ask me where they found the pot, but those boys brought plantain, found a pot, and was there frying plantains and having a wonderful time as usual. So I had to put a stop to that too. So they moved now over to the canteen where they wrapped the canteen manager around their little finger and took over the canteen, I have to say. Because they were always there. Each boy even had a sandwich named after him. How it was, exactly how he wanted his sandwich to be put together. So you could ask for a Jermaine or a Kimani or a Leighton or a Gavin or a Steve. And then you get a particular type of sandwich. These boys were living their best life. But we enjoyed ourselves, and the North Street boys, the science boys, would come over to join us when they didn't have classes and relax. But not only did we have a good time on campus, I'd take them out because I felt like the six summer experience was not just supposed to be schoolwork. So sometimes we went to the Institute of Jamaica down East Street to do research. But there was also another side of the institute, the museum part, where we went and looked at the museum stuff. And sometimes they had lunchtime concerts that we also attended. And when the University of the West Indies had their research day, I would take them to that too because they could get books to buy. They could learn about things at the university, widen their knowledge of the university. So they could make best choices of where they wanted to go. I also encourage them to go to UWI as well to do the university entrance exam. They were very reluctant because only one scholarship was offered. But I said it give you practice for the actual exam. And lo and behold, nobody got a scholarship that year. But the following year, one of those boys, when he was in his second year, got a scholarship because of the result of that exam that he had done. So, sometimes it gave them an experience and someone profited from it. But back to the campus now, we had these individual students. They were always teasing each other. And I had this boy, Steve, and he was half white, so he had curly hair. And he was always patting it in. And then one day I said to him, could you please go and comb your hair? He was so happy that I got suspicious. He took a comb, and when he combed out the hair was out to here. So I said, oh, that's why he was so happy. He was just waiting for me to tell him to comb the hair. So, all right. I said, pat back in your hair. And I never told him to comb his hair again. But the vice principal didn't get the memo. So he saw him and said, boy, go and comb your hair. And of course, he was so glad. When he combed out the hair, the vice principal was speechless. Anytime I tell him to comb the hair, they went and cut it. Ball off the head. So, there was a time on the campus where they had a lot of bald head men. And I don't know if you know that, they like to slap. When boys hair short, they like to slap the back of their necks to make them uncomfortable. But as time got by, we got more and more comfortable. The boys were more comfortable. Their duties, they were supposed to go and be prefects for the younger boys, which they were a little hesitant and reluctant to do when they went over there, because this is not something that they were used to, and they didn't want to go by themselves. So sometimes I send them in groups to each class. And they got used to it, and they started to perform, and they like the boys call him sir, and they say, miss, when we go to the class, the boys call us sir. They love that. And so little by little we settled in, and then we realized the advantages of being there. And we were there for many years. I left them there because I was getting too old for the movement, because in my case I would be with them half day and then go over to the other campus to teach my fourth and fifth formers. And it was getting a bit much for me, so I gave that up. But while I was there, I really enjoyed myself. The boys enjoyed themselves, and we had some fun times. And there were lessons, There were even times when the old boys would come in, and the vice principal allotted Thursday mornings. The boys were always free, all of them. So that made it easier for us to go to places off campus, but also we got in people to talk to them, because I'm a woman. I can't teach boys how to be boys or how to be men. So I would get these old boys or anybody who was interested to come and give them talks about the sort of careers they can choose, or about life experiences, which the boys enjoyed very much. In fact, I enjoyed it very much as well, sometimes because there were so many people there. I had to split up the boys, and I had to be moving from room to room to catch a little of what was being said. And it was really interesting and enjoyable. And I really enjoy that part of my job.